All right. The screen has prompted me to call things to order. So what I'd like to do, first off, I'd like to go ahead and, give our pledge of allegiance to the flag. Now, I also know that this weekend is a holiday weekend. And, as we head into this holiday weekend, I want you, all of us, to remember the sacrifices made by our military brothers and sisters. I saw something this morning or earlier on Facebook. It talked about how Armed Forces Day was actually just this past Saturday, May 15th. And that actually honors all those who are still in uniform versus Veterans Day, who actually honors those who have actually hung up their uniform, have retired. But Memorial Day is here to honor those who never really made it out of their uniforms, who actually paid the ultimate sacrifice. So what I'd like everyone to do is please stand along with me. Put your right hand over your heart, and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. With that, everyone knows about our housekeeping. I'm going to keep this to an hour. If you're wanting to chat it up, please mute yourself until you're actually ready to speak. And we have a total of 6 listings today. So we'll get over that, we'll get that underway once we hear from our speakers. But first off, I want to go ahead and introduce our affiliate spotlight for today. Oh, but then again, I've been prompted. Is there any new attendees here? If so, this is your time to sort of introduce yourself real quickly and share with us how you found out about us. Well, okay, we're all repeaters. We're all veterans here. Fair enough.
Good morning. Actually, no, there's one new, which is mine, Dante Cause with Windermere in Old Town Temecula. Just wanted to say hello. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks. You're also going to be one of our property previews. I remember seeing your name. All right, cool.
That's right.
We'll hear from you later. Yeah.
All right. I'm also new as well to the group.
Is that Amber? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, what brought you here today? Yeah.
Well, I found this group on Facebook, and I'm with the company CCS Executive Suites. We have 3 separate offices, and we also have an executive lounge. So I would definitely love to share a little bit about us.
Well, ideally, I don't know if you've become one of our affiliate members yet, but that's something where you need to talk to Wendy or one of our staff, and they'll show you how you can do that. And then you can be, in the weeks to come, be an affiliate spotlight. But I know Erica is eager to show you how to spotlight your business.
Okay, so is there a good contact information for Wendy?
I think yes. I think look in the chat. She'll probably chat something to you.
Okay.
Or vice versa.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I'd like to go ahead and introduce Erica Maldonado.
Close enough. Maldonado.
I said it perfectly earlier. From Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group. So please give her a very warm SRCAR welcome.
Thank you, everyone. And I know we're limited to 3 to 5 minutes. So I brought our VP over to the call, Eric Mitchell, so he can run down, the 5-minute presentation in Gold Star Mortgage Temecula office, located in Old Town Temecula, right in the center of Old Town. And I'll have Eric take over for the next couple minutes.
Hey, everyone. So I'm excited to share some information about what we're doing here at Gold Star, and I'm really excited that Erica has joined our family. She's our Southern California market leader, and so she's local right there in Temecula with you guys, and so I'll get her contact information up here on the screen in just a second. But I think the pink elephant in the room that everybody's trying to understand is, you know, what's going on with inventory levels, and then what do we do about that? And so we've got a very unique program, a unique strategy that I think is going to be very attractive to the realtors down there in your market in the South Riverside County, North San Diego County. And so when you look at the numbers of inventory levels, so to us, it's just simple mathematics, right? There's a reason there's a lack of inventory. And so the question then becomes, how long is this going to go on? So the best numbers that we're looking at is that it's going to take the builders roughly 5 years to catch up. And so this is not a short-term blip. Everything we're seeing tells us we're in this for another few years. So the question then becomes, how do you adapt to it? If you go back to 2007, 2008, 2009, you know, a lot of realtors adapted to short sales, REOs, et cetera, and they really crushed the market because they were able to adapt to the market. And so right now there's a lack of inventory. So how do you adapt to the market? How do you change what you're doing? How do you change your script, change your methodology? And so one of the things that we try and focus on is understanding the California purchase contract. If you're a listing agent, so pretend just for a second to be a listing agent, and you put a single family home on the market and 20, 30, 40, 50 offers come in. So as a listing agent, you have a fiduciary responsibility to provide all of the offers to your seller, right? You're going to present all of the offers, but you're going to put them in order. You're going to put them in sequence. And so the first filter typically that a listing agent is going to put the offers in sequence is based on the offer prices, right? Who offered what? The second filter, though, that a listing agent typically is going to put on that sequence is who doesn't have a loan contingency, right? So if you look at a California purchase contract, page 2, what most realtors are used to is checking boxes 1, 2, and 3. And so what we're saying is the listing agent wants to see box 4 checked. That's what they're looking for. And so if you've got an FHA buyer, a VA buyer, even a conventional buyer, and they've got a mortgage attached, typically you're checking boxes 1, 2, and 3. You're attaching a very pretty pre-approval package from the lender, and then you're calling the listing agent. But if they've got, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers with no loan contingency, your offer is just not at the table. And so there's a lot of buyer's agents right now. They're making 5, 10, 15 offers on 5, 10, or 15 different houses for their clients, desperately trying to get their client out of contract. I'm seeing realtors reduce their commissions. I'm seeing all this crazy stuff going on in the market because it's just a complete lack of inventory. And so what we do, right, is we do a full underwrite for your clients ahead of time. We waive loan contingencies in writing. We're contract to funding in 12 days, 12 calendar days. We get a purchase contract, we're funding in 12 days. With no loan contingency. So all we need is appraisal and title in the file. And so we can show you how to structure those deals while still protecting your clients. We don't want your clients at risk. There's other caveats and other things we can do to protect your buyers. But this is how you've got to pivot in this marketplace. And we want to help you do that. So if you have questions about this, I would say just shoot a quick text message to this number. Just say Fast Pass. Send a text to this number. You're going to get a text back with some videos and some information about how to do this. That'll help. But wanted to just open it up to Q&A and see what we can do to answer questions for you guys. But we're doing this right now. We've been doing it for 8 years. So this is not a new program for us. It's just really relevant right now that realtors want to make that offer with no loan contingency. I'm going to throw Erica's contact information up here and just open up to Q&A. Because usually realtors have some concerns when we start talking about no loan contingency. Any questions from the group?
I don't see any questions. Erica, is there any way you want to go ahead and wrap this up? But yeah.
Yeah, so Erica, you're right there. Everybody can see her office is right there in Temecula. Her contact information's right there. I'm going to throw the text message number up again so that you can just shoot a quick text message to get free information on how it works. Erica, anything else that you'd like to add about our program?
No, thank you. I think you cover everything. And like Eric said, you know, hopefully we can help you with a full underwriting approval upfront. And I am getting some text messages coming in, so thank you for that. I'll respond with information on our no loan contingency full loan approval.
I did pick up on that, fund in 12 days. And yeah, that caught my ear. And also being able to adapt to the market. That is cool. I mean, that is when it comes to lack of inventory. But you also mentioned how it's going to take up to 5 years for builders. You're talking about new home builders to catch up with the lack of inventory. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you look back at 2004.
Where are you getting this information?
So we're members of the National Builders Association, right? So it's all based on housing supplies that is very hyper local, like their data is very hyper local. And so if you think back to 2004, 5, 6, 7, the builders were taking down entire farms and building mass tract housing to keep up with demand. And then 2008, 9, and 10 happened, and the builders got hurt really bad. And so they slowed everything down. And so for the last 10 years, they've been not building as anywhere near as much, trying to just be very, very conservative. And so now with millennial birth rates, so if you look back at the story of Lee Iacocca, if you guys have seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari, there's a famous, folklore story about Lee Iacocca and Ford talking about birth rates of baby boomers. And so with Ford, he said, look, baby boomers are coming of age. They've got money. They want a sexy, inexpensive sports car. We need to, and so that was the launch of the Ford Mustang and took Ford into the stratosphere. And then Ford stopped listening to Lee Iacocca for whatever reason, and Chrysler came knocking on his door and said, look, we'll listen to you. Come over to Chrysler. We'll do whatever you tell us to do. And so he said, well, baby boomers, based on birth rates, no longer want the Ford Mustang. They want a completely different car because now they're having kids and families and going to suburbia. And so that was the launch of the Chrysler minivan. And so that was Lee Iacocca's next, based on birth rates. And so when you look at millennial birth rates, what's happening is, right, you've got these millennials that all of a sudden are of age and they want to buy a house and they've got money. Not all, but enough, right? There's a lot of them. And so they're coming into that starter house, which is creating huge demand for starter houses, which is allowing for those home sellers to sell their house and move up and then move up and move up. And so this trickle effect but the demand is outrageous. I mean, the quantity of buyers coming into the marketplace is it's breathtaking. And so the builders are looking at it saying, look, we're not going to take down tract housing again. We're not going to build at that pace. We're just not going to, because plus there's a shortage of lumber. And even if they wanted to, there's no lumber, there's no manpower, there's no construction workers, they can't do it anyway. Lumber costs have gone up 500% in the last 12 months. How do you keep pace?
I kind of think the new home builders will never catch up. That's what I kind of suspect. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about never, but certainly it's gonna take a while. It's not gonna be anytime soon. And so to not pivot your business, and plus, which right now today, if you can make an offer, all things being equal, with no loan contingency, and you can, and you're just choosing not to for whatever reason, is that really benefiting your client? At the end of the day, realtors, loan officers, we all have a fiduciary responsibility to do what's in the best interest of our clients. What is that? And if you can make an offer while protecting your client that has no loan contingency, and that's in their best interest, then we should all, act in that behalf.
I can sit here and talk about the market for the rest of the meeting here, but I also know, in the interest of time, I appreciate the insight, and I love the Ford versus Ferrari in the birth rate comparison. I'm going to go watch that movie on Netflix again. So I appreciate it, Eric and Erica. Thank you very much. I'd love a reason to go to Old Town Temecula. I don't need much of a reason to go there. But no, I appreciate it. And well, I love the PowerPoint presentation, and hopefully you'll be with us next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, now are we going to do a little did you know, or what? Yeah, let's go straight into our guest speaker, because I know he has I know he's connected with us, but we don't know how long his connection is going to last. So let me go ahead and introduce our our featured speaker for today. Mr. Carter's been he is actually the CEO of CRMLS. He's been with us for quite a while. I know he's a great listener. I also know a lot of people look up to him. I also know he's, a charismatic individual. And I'm not going to run on about him, but I want to go ahead and allow him to present today and give us a little CRMLS update. So, Mr. Art Carter, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And yes, it has been a crazy time, not only for you as professionals selling real estate, but it has been a crazy time in the MLS industry. And I told Mike earlier that I had a pick of 5 or 6 bad news items to tell you in 15 minutes. And so I've chosen kind of the most pertinent, and not all of them are bad news. Some of them are good news depending on how you are viewing things, but things are crazy right now. There is a lot more attention by government regulators into the industry as a whole. There's a lot more attention because of COVID, a lot more things going along those lines in regards to people getting involved in the real estate business. And with the hotness of the market, it has really put pressure on everybody across the board. So let's jump into kind of our update. I would like to begin by talking about a decision that was just made by our board of directors, and that is in regards to Glide. In March of 2021, we rolled out a product that I was really excited about, and that was the ability to deliver to our brokerage and our agent community, the ability to really put the offer process online and tied into the multiple listing service. And not just tied into the multiple listing service, but tied into the CAR Forms product. And the ability to click on one button, have it launch you into an RPA, have that RPA filled out, have the RPA delivered to the seller's agent, or actually to your client, have it DocuSigned and delivered very seamlessly to the seller's agent, and then really giving you a clarification, not a clarification, but a notification when that offer was looked at. So it was a pretty cool product. In April, I was amongst many who were disappointed to learn that they had been sold, and that Compass had announced that they were going to acquire Glide. Really, from our standpoint, we knew that there was a lot of angst, mainly because I started hearing from our brokerage community right away. And so we really wanted to take a measured approach and kind of feel out, what does our brokerage and our agent community really want out of this? I will tell you, I'm going to go into the ShowingTime situation, and ShowingTime was another product that was purchased, that one being purchased by Zillow. And in as much as there was a lot of angst at that time over the purchase, the usage of the product on the ShowingTime side actually went up after the purchase. So we really wanted to reach out to our agents and our brokers to gauge their thoughts on what the announcement and what it would mean to them, and whether or not they were going to continue to use the product. We understand that this offer process is probably a little bit more deeply into everybody's process and their relationships with their clients, and we just wanted to get an idea of what was going on from that standpoint. So we did survey you, and we had over 4,000 respondents that answered to us. And basically, we really wanted to take a look at a couple of different things, and asking whether or not you accessed your CAR forms using Glide. And 60% of those that responded, those 4,000 people, said yes, they were using Glide. And recognize that when we're talking about Glide, Glide is not just this make an offer button. Glide was the PED system that we still have in place. Glide was the disclosures and the AVIDs and the SPQs and all of those things across the board. And so it was not something that we really wanted to really make a quick decision on, but we wanted to see where our membership was with it. And really what it came out to was that asking the question, will your use of the Glide platform change if Glide is owned by Compass? Yes was, you guys can see those figures right there, was about 35%. And those that said no, that they're going to still continue to use it, was 47%. 18% basically came back and said they were unsure. So really the board of directors was faced with a decision of, you know, we really have a split membership. If you give that 18% over to the yes side, that they were going to discontinue their use of the product, you're still looking at about a 50-50 split with the membership. At best, it was a 65-35 split. And so we did ask for comments out of people, and there were a lot of comments both ways. Please don't take the product away from me, and others that I absolutely don't feel comfortable using a product that was going to be owned by what potentially could be a competitor of mine. So the board of directors did meet, and after those survey responses, phone calls, we did receive a ton of feedback. We are going to continue to offer glides for forms and disclosures and offers, but we did, during this time frame, we did remove the submit an offer button from the listing pages. And the reason why we did that is because of that split, and because I didn't have the capability within our systems to give a brokerage the ability to say, I don't want that button on my listings, or I don't want my agents interacting with that make an offer platform. So one of the things that we are going to be doing going forward, and we're hopefully in the June, July timeframe, we'll have an announcement on this, is we're going to give you the ability, the brokerage community, the ability to really put up whatever offer platform that they would want on their own listings. And so there'll be a make an offer button, there will be within our system. And when it's clicked on, the brokerage community then is going to determine which of the platforms they use. If they have a direct relationship with outside companies, you know, ZipForms has their own product. There are a couple of other companies out there, Loop and SkySlope, that have offered similar things and tied into the CAR forms. We're going to open that up to the membership. And that's one of the things that we heard loud and clear. The other thing that we heard loud and clear is that those that responded wanted CRMLS to build its own forms product. I don't know that long-term is something that we're going to do. It is very much a heavy lift, and it is not something that we've anticipated adding into our mix, but it is something that we will look at longer term. Our board of directors is going through a strategic planning process in a couple of weeks, and that is one of the things that we're going to do looking forward. So given all the feedback that we were given, we just felt it was wise to take that button down until we could give the brokerage community choice. But still, the disclosure piece of it, the make an offer side of it is still there for those that want to utilize it. It's just not kind of force-fed with a button being placed on each one of the listings. So we felt that was the best way of moving it about and really giving our brokerage and our agent community the ability to have choice going forward. So I kind of already went through what these pieces are. One of the things you guys do need to know is that we did enter into an additional agreement with Glide that forces them to hire what's called a DPO, which is a data privacy officer. And for those that are concerned about the information from the Glide platform being leaked over to a corporate owner in Compass, there is an outside firm that will be doing monthly audits of both systems, the Compass side and the Glide side, to make sure that all of the data privacy pieces that CRMLS has in our contract are adhered to. And they know that if either side violates those privacy concerns, CRMLS has the right to terminate the agreement right away, and the board of directors has given me the power to do that if we see that. So we do feel that we do have power over this DPO. We're going to have a choice in who it is. We're going to have direct contact with them, and we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that something that was a very cool and, in all honesty, the most successful product launch that we've had at CRMLS in a long time. We want to continue on with those pieces of it and give our brokerage community some of the assurances that we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that their data is protected. Let's go into some MLS Touch updates. I know that you guys have access into this through Southwest Riverside County. So there are a couple of new features and new things that are along the lines with MLS Touch. There's real list flood zones. You guys also have the ability to look at tax items on your cell phone through the MLS Touch app. And the parcel displays and some of the smart search pieces. The improved listing statuses management, you guys are maybe aware, maybe not aware, you guys actually with the MLS Touch platform can update your listings within the systems. If you need to take it, you're on the road and you need to do a quick update from active and depending, or any of the other statuses that are available, you guys are able to do that on your cell phone. So just a number of easy things to look at. We're excited about some of the things that MLS Touch has to give you guys moving forward. So I'd highly recommend that you guys take a look at that. You guys do have access to all of the different mobile platforms that CRMLS has to offer. And I highly recommend that you guys go to CRMLS.org. We have kb.crmls.org, which is our knowledge base. And you can kind of take a look at the flyer and all of the different options that we have from a mobile platform standpoint. I know internally we have people that love different ones of these, and they all bring a different flavor of the MLS data to you guys from a mobile standpoint. So I highly recommend that you guys take a look at that and give us a call if you have any other concerns. The other thing that I talked about was showing time, is I know that there was a lot of concern about showing time being purchased by Zillow. And one of the common questions we get from CRMLS users is, how can I disable the showing time product on my listing? And very easily, there is a video on our website that you guys can also access that can walk you through this. But if you guys just go into your showing time account by clicking on the icon from your dashboard, you're then taken into a links. If you click on the links side of it, going down to showing time, you guys have the ability to use the links tab to go out to the external links and go through that process of disabling your listing. So we do listen to our brokerage community, and once in showing time you're in there, you click on the listings on the left-hand side. Some accounts may say listing setup depending on how old the account is. And then you click on the listing to select. In the showing time appointment center sections, find allow showing agent to request appointments online, and you select no on that, and make sure that you click to save. And that's how you disable your listing on the showing time system. So let's go through a compliance side. I know I ask this question all the time, how many of you guys like rules? And nobody raises their hands until I say, how many of you guys like getting a different check at the closing table than what was shown in the multiple listing service? And then everybody has an appreciation for that side. So one of the things that you guys need to understand is that really what sets the multiple listing service aside from any other of the online databases that you see out there and is that we're a broker cooperative. It's not Art Carter and CRMLS running things. It is brokerages. And I'm going to throw him under the bus because he's a big man and he can take it. But Curtis Doss is on our board of directors, and he represents a lot of different voices and names. And it is important that you guys understand that through our whole entire process, it is really directed and run by brokers and agents who have voices in what goes through the CRMLS system. So it is important on that side that you understand that that's how we handle things. So a couple of different things. Some of these, some of them are some positive things. Subsection C of 7.22, which is the expiration, extension, and renewal of listings. Brokerages now have the ability to modify the status of an expired listing within 7 days of the expiration date. Before, once it expired, you couldn't touch it. So we've given you the ability within 7 days of that expiration date, the broker can go in and do that. Agents still can't, but the broker can go in and modify that. So that was one of the requests that we've gotten out of a number of different organizations that are part of CRMLS. And I think it's one of the things that's important to note is that this has always been in the rules that the MLS has the right to request a copy of the seller's written authorization to extend or renew a listing. Okay, it can't. As part of this process, they wanted to make sure that a broker couldn't just go in and renew a listing without having an underlying written authorization to extend or renew the listing. Okay, so real good stuff on that side. And modification of information. This is another change that was effective on May 1st. And in connection with the enforcement of MLS rules and regulations or otherwise needed to correct listing information, MLS may modify any field or data point within any listing. So that's really to respond to our brokerage community and make sure that we are able to change those things that need to be changed in the system. Top violations, just so you guys know the things that we're seeing, these really haven't changed all that much. And as I told you, I've been doing this for 25 years. They haven't changed all that much across the board. Photos, media, copyright issues. One of the things we get all the times is that the copyright violation is a pretty extensive and heavy fine. You guys need to know that there are copyright laws on the books that if you as an IDX, you have an IDX website, and we have 25,000 plus IDX websites out there within the CRMLS family. And if you put a listing up on the MLS and you don't have the copyright to the photo that you've put up there, you are obligating or putting at risk the rest of the participants and subscribers within CRMLS who operate IDX websites. It could be up to a $750 fine for every violation that they find. So anybody grab a calculator, 750 times 250,000 or 25,000 websites, you know that that's a pretty extensive problem. So it is something that we do go after quite a bit. Another thing, is it goes without saying, is part of this, number one, is that you cannot use another agent's photos of a listing that was in the system without their permission. Okay, we get that quite a bit. I don't want to accuse anybody of being lazy, but it is being lazy. You cannot use somebody else's photos without their permission, just flat out. No exterior photograph, we get that quite a bit as well. You guys do have that 2 days to input that listing with a photo in it. Inaccurate information, that can be across the board. And things that are mentioned in public remarks, incorrect information that is filled out into the listing input form, very important. Misuse of public remarks, I think everybody is aware of what some of those things are. It is still crazy to me that we run across things as I was going to use the word stupid, but I won't do that. But things as stupid as children home alone after 3 p.m. don't show after 3 p.m. You put that stuff into public remarks, it goes out to those 25,000 websites, plus Zillow, plus homes.com, plus, you know, all of the world. And that is a very definite, you know, security risk and things that we take very seriously on that side. The other piece of it is failure to correct a violation. Some people may think that CRMLS, we live off of violation income. We do not. In fact, you know, it is our goal not to send a fine to anybody, but, you know, you have to work hard to get a violation out of CRMLS. The main thing that we see out of this is a lack of communication. If you do not have an email address that is correct in our system, shame on you. That is the main way that we're going to communicate information about listings you may input into the system. So please have the correct information in the multiple listing service. That's the easiest way of not getting a fine or a failure to correct violation from us. With that, any questions from the crowd? If I've got time, I know I might be a little bit over. Mike.
I have the ability to make time, so.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. So I have a question, but I want to first see if anyone else has a question.
Mike, I had a question. It's Sarah Drago.
Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Thank you. I just had a question on, it says inaccurate information, please. You were saying, you know, it kind of sounded general, but I see a lot, and I even put in there that, you know, all information deemed reliable, but buyers to verify accuracy. I don't want to use that as a coverall necessarily, but if there's something that's in there that I may have been given incorrect information or whatnot, how does that kind of protect the agents too?
Well, you know, the main thing that we're looking at that is that there's a willful misleading somebody about a property, putting in 5 bedrooms when there are only 4 bedrooms. you know, putting, you know, there's just a wide variety of different things that fall underneath that. You were right in that, you know, especially when you're talking about square footage, and you're talking about, you know, potential dimensions of living areas and things along those lines. We put that information out there for you as well anyways. So you're not going to, when you're relying upon the assessor, you're relying upon the homeowner for some of that information, you're not going to get a fine for those pieces of it. But it's when you know, it's those willful misrepresentations. It's on sewer when it's on septic. You know, those are things that you as an agent really should be making sure that you have that information correct before putting it into the multiple listing service.
Okay, so to touch, just so I'm clear, I just want to, I don't know, I always want to make sure I'm doing it properly. But if it, let's say the title says 4 bedrooms, but there are 5 bedrooms, if we note that in private remarks, you know, title says this, but there are 5 bedrooms. Because a lot of builders in our area put kind of bulk information into the county, I've found. And so if the home has, you know, actually a loft and that was an option, or a 5th bedroom and that was an option instead of the garage, we see a lot of that. So
yeah, and so what you might get out of us is you might get a notice saying we've had a report that this is incorrect information. Recognize the vast majority of what goes out to you as a violation is because another agent has said this is incorrect violation. You know, we rely upon, as I said, this is a broker cooperative, and we rely upon you guys to help police each other. So you'll get a notice from us, and you do have 48 hours to respond to us and say, hey, you know, this does have 5 bedrooms. I don't know who reported it, but, you know, tax said 4. It actually, you know, had a loft that, you know, was built out into a 5th bedroom. So recognize that we are going to communicate with you. And like I said, it's not our goal to violate anybody, but it is to respond to the agent community.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, putting that in the private remarks, yeah, speaks volumes, and that's the key. As long as you communicate that, no one will complain, and you'll never hear from CRMLS. Yeah. Art, you did mention when it comes to a data privacy officer.
Yeah.
Is there any time frame when someone like that will be implemented?
So we signed a new agreement with them after the board of directors meeting, and they will have that in place in the next 2 weeks.
That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah. Because I know some people really love showing time. They don't want it to go away. But yeah, being able, you know, but you also don't want them to steal our clients either.
Yeah. And so recognize that there is a hard wall in between the 2 organizations on those sides as well.
Yeah, but perception, you can't get away from.
Yeah, I know. And in all honesty, I think my biggest disappointment is the perception will probably forever be that there's some compromised data, ways of compromising the data, and the product will never get the usage that it would have gotten because of those perceptions. And it's unfortunate because I think it really had an opportunity to kind of change the dynamic for our brokers and our agents.
I agree. But hey,
I have a quick question.
Yes, Pauline, you have a question? Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Coming soon status. It's been a new rollout feature here. I don't know now how long it's been, the last 6 months or so.
Look at that, my internet connection is breaking up.
You're like, what? Sorry to ask these questions. I'm just curious, how has that been on your guys' side? Has there been a lot of violations? Is it helping reduce pocket listings? And I know the big part is that different MLSs or different areas have different coming soon status versus, you know, some is, you know, 14 days where we're 21 days. I'm just curious on how is that going to be continuing on, or what are your goals? So
with the exception of San Diego, I've gotten an agreement from all of the large MLSs in Southern California to come together and let's fix this. You know, it's ridiculous for our membership that you can have a coming soon listings that are literally across the street from each other that have different rule sets applied to it. So we've agreed that we're going to come to the table and fix all this stuff. We're gonna have the same days on coming on soon. We're gonna have, you know, can I have showings or not have showings? All of that stuff is, we've agreed that we're gonna come up with one homogeneous standard, and we're gonna push that forward. And it might be a little bit of a bloodbath to get ourselves there, but I think it's beneficial to the membership. I will tell you, and I'm not in any way, you know, sharing anything that I probably shouldn't, but I was never a big fan of Coming Soon. And Coming Soon has been around for 15 years. And, you know, when I first started hearing about it, and CRMLS has always been, you know, there's other mechanisms, there's waivers, there's, you know, these other things in which we could, you know, change the dynamic. I will tell you that the Wall Street Journal just published an article 2 days ago. And I was interviewed extensively for it. And my comments were not used because it didn't support their premise about, you know, what the things are going on. We haven't, I think one of the things that has been, you know, I think you guys need to know about the clear cooperation policy, and Coming Soon kind of rolls into that, is that it has been fairly successful within the CRMLS system. You guys are seeing, especially those Coming Soon listings typically were on waiver. And when they were on waiver, you guys were not seeing them, and they were still being marketed, and it was causing a lot of consumer confusion. On average, those Coming Soon listings, which typically were on waiver, you're getting exposure to them 14 days before you would have in normal situations. And I know that there's a lot of concerns about office exclusives and people taking those office exclusives and just using them as the new pocket. We have not seen an explosion of that within the CRMLS system. Has it gone up? Yes, it has gone up, but not exponentially like some of the articles from Redfin and some of the articles from the Wall Street Journal have stated that it's gone up in other parts of the country. So I think that, you know, it's just, you know, Coming Soon is one of those things that we need to work on, and the office exclusive side are one of those things that we need to work on. But we do think that the clear cooperation policy overall has been a positive for the membership.
Thank you. You answered it well. Your internet didn't go out, so thank you.
I just didn't know what you were going to ask about Coming Soon, so I was preemptively going to pop off. I'm kidding.
Yeah, good luck with trying to get all their different associations to come up with a uniform method. I know just east of us, that association, which is a closed shop, they banned them altogether. They will not allow them.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah, people ask me all the time when they're going to join in, and I don't think that'll happen before I'm retired. I will tell you that, you know, things do change, and you guys will get the first news of this. High Desert Multiple Listing Service is joining CRMLS as of June 1st. So they are coming on board. You guys do have access to their listings already, but they are coming on board as a full member at CRMLS.
We've had a data share agreement with them for years, but now they're actually going to be full on. Huh?
Yeah. So, you know, there's always, in my world, there's always small incremental changes, and some, as in High Desert, I've been working on them for 12 years. So there are some successes along those lines.
On one up note, I also want to, tell you thanks that when you came to giving us that 7-day grace period as brokers to fix something that inadvertently went expired, I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a good thing you guys did.
Yeah, and you guys hopefully know, everybody knows here that you guys do have an MLS committee that you guys can use it to bring information and request for changes to the CRMLS system. don't inundate Curtis with those requests. Go through the channels at Southwest Riverside, and that's the best way of getting changes through CRMLS.
Oh, yeah. And up next, we'll be talking about our committee updates. And I see Debbie Kosum is our chairperson for our MLS task force. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
With that, now, no more questions? All right. Thank you, Art.
Thanks, Art.
Thank you. Thank you, Connie.
Next up is our Did You Know? When it comes to last week, as you can tell on the screen there, we had a total of 283 closed transactions. That's even higher than the previous week. But did you know last week, for that same time period, we only had 188 closings. We almost did almost 100 more this past week than we did a year ago. And that's with half the inventory. That's, you know, that's another example of how crazy our market is right now. Committee reports. Quickly, Nikki with for an affiliate committee.
She's not on the call.
Any other committee chairs who would like, this would be an opportunity for you to step up. I know going down the list that I have here, you know, HIMIT, education. Barbara, you want to share anything's happening with the education committee?
I'm here. I have nothing to report. I will, though, I think next week. I'm not looking at my calendar, but I think so. Just remember that we've got the RPA coming out in December, and I'm just reminding everyone to sign up for any and all that you have an opportunity to take for the new RPA that's 16 pages.
Okay.
I'll go for YPN and MLS. So I just want to say thank you everyone who came out to Shamrocks on Tuesday night. We just had a kind of meet and greet live, and it was a great turnout. We had raffle prizes, and we were able to raise $500 for our charity of the year, which is Love Song. So thank you so much for everyone who donated raffles and purchased raffle tickets. So that's going to go towards that charity. And then just for the MLS marketing meeting, we will be, looks like we will be going live on June 15th. So that's really exciting. We'll have more info in regards to that, but it will be back to Tuesdays at 9 a.m. at the Murrieta, and we'll have the other updates as far as the other marketing meetings. But so plan on that, having a good time for our first live meeting, June 15th. And just remember to get your listings in so that we can showcase them and provide excellent service to your sellers and network with all of us agents. Thanks.
Hey, that is exciting news because I was there. Yeah, June 15th, we go live and in person. Next, any other committee?
I have an update.
Yes, Sylvia.
Sylvia here for property management. Just wanted to invite all of you for June 9th at 10 a.m. via Zoom. We have our police officer panel, and we're going to have police from Hemet, Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, and Riverside County Sheriff, sharing tips for safety, tips for landlords and property managers, how they handle domestic disputes, controlled substances. So it's going to be a great 1 hour training. Oh, I think it's 2 hours because we have 5 or 6 panelists. So save the date for June 9th, and you'll find the Zoom link on our website.
Sylvia, what time will that be? And will it be recorded? Yeah.
It'll be recorded, and it's from 10 to 12.
I like that. Okay, any other committee updates?
I have a committee update. I know it's not on the update, but our homeowners diversity committee, we're holding a virtual panel for homeownership cultural exchange on June the 23rd. So just mark that on your calendar, June 23rd from 10:30 to 11:30. We're going to have a homeownership cultural exchange panel, and that's for home diversity. Cultural diversity.
Thanks for sharing, Janice. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I want to go ahead before, because I know our raffle, you have to be present to win. And I see people dropping off. So I want to kind of, like to sort of, can we go ahead and do our raffle now? Am I messing things up with you, Wendy?
I took over for Wendy. So I think there's photos. I just wanted to show the photos and thank our sponsor today for providing the raffle prices.
Yeah, that's Erica, who taught me and in Eric's, to go watch the movie Ford versus Ferrari. Yes. So go ahead and spin.
So these are the names, and there's going to be 2 winners. So here's the first one. Sorry for the no audio, but Michelle Bassett's our first winner.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, and then our second winner.
Ooh, ooh. I'll be your audio.
Hey, Robin. We can clap.
Yay.
Oh, they're both present. That's awesome. All right, well, cool. That worked out surprisingly smooth. Yes, and you can thank Erica over there at Gold Star. Yeah, Mortgage Financial.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you.
Thanks, Erica. Thank you. And let me know, there's a white bottle of wine, or it's white wine. So if you want me to change it, whoever's getting it for a red one, let me know.
Okay.
You're giving them options.
Right? I don't know what they drink.
Erica, I'm Robin. I prefer the coffee.
And I like red.
Perfect.
It just keeps getting better all the time. Yes.
Thank you.
Mike, did you want me to go back to the education announcements?
Yes. In the interest of time, I know people have lives, and I wanted to go ahead. If you could stay on, I'd love to get some, because I know a couple people in the chat were talking about some wants and needs. But yes, please, we can go back and kind of tell people what, because we still have quite a few people here. So yeah, we can go back to upcoming events. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you want me to highlight these. I think everyone can pretty well.
I do have an announcement for this one. We have hit 70% of our goal. So we still need a little bit more contributions. If you haven't already bought a ticket, we're going to be pulling the raffle for this, I believe, at the next meeting. So you still have a chance to purchase. You can scan the QR code directly from your phone. You just open the camera on your phone and it'll take you directly to the website. It's $20 for one ticket. You only get one entry, and the last day to purchase is May 31st.
Okay. Thank you. That's one of my questions was, can I go and buy another ticket? But yeah, so it's one entry per person. Yes.
And I think that's it. We had a raffle and no town criers today.
Now, do we have any town criers? I don't have anything. I mean, except to repeat what Pauline talked earlier. We're already going to be doing Zoom. We'll have a couple of Zoom meetings in June, and then come June 15th, we'll actually not just going live, but we'll also be switching back to Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. So from there on out, it'll be back how it was. Anything else? This is it. Thanks. These are the dedicated realtors we have here who are still on this call 15 minutes after
Yeah, that's close. Right. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
That's because you're hosting, Mike. That's because you're hosting.
You're so good, Mike.
Yeah. What? With that, hearing none, I want to go ahead and probably adjourn this meeting, throw down the gavel, and we'll see you guys have a safe and sane Memorial Day weekend. And don't forget, this is to memorialize people who gave it their all. So
Amen.
Go seize the day, and you can stop recording now.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks, Mike. Great meeting. Thanks,
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Erica, for the wine.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.